Hi, welcome everybody. Welcome from Australia. My name is Chrissy, and in this video I'm going to be giving you a channel prediction reading for the 12th of March. Now, I'm just going to close my eyes. We'll just get started and see what messages come through. So stay watching to the end in case there's a message you're needing to hear today. So they're showing me things are collapsing. So it's like it's showing me like a canyon. So you've got this very deep sort of canyon, like crevice sort of almost in the middle, and everything's pouring into it. So it's like the waters are meeting and it's like filling up this canyon. So if you kind of think of that flooding overflow of water where two bodies of water are meeting and they're falling into that canyon and it's filling up. So it's leveling everything out. With using the water, and I think the water is really relating to that flow of energy. So this is around the truth. There has been so much truth flowing out in the last couple of months. It's been really eye-opening. I think more eye-opening than any of us could actually have imagined, to be quite honest. Of course, we know the media and all these other platforms aren't showing it. No surprises there that none of these truths are sort of coming out, only on YouTube, and that we're kind of having to sort of figure it all out ourselves and find out about it. But this is happening. There, people who were involved in this big reset are actually starting to fall. And that's what that flow, there's too much energy in that flowing around. It's causing them to slip into this kind of crevice, and that's what I'm getting. Like things are, it's almost like they can't get their footing, so they're slipping and they're sliding and they're falling down into this like gap. It's like their fingers have been hanging onto the sides of the, like for example, a cliff wall, but they're starting to slide. Their fingers are sliding down the side of the wall and they're sort of heading to their destiny. And that's what I'm definitely getting. It's that collapsing of the empire. And I think that's a good thing. That's a good thing. I get excited when I hear things like that. But it's saying that collapsing of the empire energy. Gosh, one could only hope, couldn't they? Now, people have really stood up. So I feel like, as I said the other day, this movement of freedom fighting has become greater and greater and greater in size. Now, it's the volume that shakes the energy up. And it's like earth energy. It's a vibration. And I think we all know, if anyone's out there has been to any of these freedom convoys, or maybe in Canada, the trucker convoys, there's a different vibration. There's a vibration of joy, a vibration of happiness, a vibration of freedom. And they're the things that people are wanting now. They want their lives back. They want to have joy. They want to have fun. We know there's that minority group who are still stuck living in the fears of around the pandemic. And gosh, they're still pushing that agenda here in Australia. Don't worry about that. They're still pushing the next booster, and they've got another Omicron strain here in Australia. And now there's some mosquito thing. You can get a jab for that, I don't even know. And this is what's kind of going on. People are just tired of it. They want to have a life, and they want to have happiness, and they want to have fun. And that's what the difference is. When people come together with that mindset, it vibrates and you get more of that mindset. So that's what's starting to happen. There is a huge transition that is happening now, and the movement is getting greater and greater and greater. And yes, we know these things might be untold at the moment, but that doesn't mean that's how it's going to stay. They're showing me like a really old book, and it's like someone's opening this book and telling a story. So this might be in like 10 years, it might be in 5 years, but it's almost like someone's written a book, and it's showing me kind of the heading like Grimm's Fairy Tales or something like that. And this is going to be like the COVID agenda, or it's going to be something called that, and people are going to open it and they're going to read it, and it's going to be like a horror story to people, because no one's going to believe that that was actually reality. So this is what I'm getting. They're showing me this really old like book of fables, or it's kind of just got that really old cover, and someone's like sitting there reading it to their grandchildren about, well, this is what happened, and people lost their freedoms, and this is kind of what's going on. So it's like this part of history in time will actually be written into a book, and it'll be an interesting read for a lot of people, because nobody will believe what has happened. And even in the book, they're sort of saying like, and there's these global elites who are trying to take over the world, but the people wouldn't have any part of it, and they stood up to the tyranny that was unfolding before them. So this is what I'm getting. I'm getting this person telling a story in, say, like I said, 5-10 years, and it's got the old cover on it, and someone's telling this to their grandchildren about this story, and it's like unbelievable story. It's like it's a fairy tale, like it's been made up. And that's what I'm getting. Like, this whole scenario feels made up, but it's not. So in years to come, I really feel it's going to be a story that is really going to be told. And this is what I'm saying about the truths. The truths will start to dribble out over time. I think I said that the other day, that we're not going to get all the truths in one big hit and bam, you know. Can you imagine if the whole world woke up at the same time? It would be just absolute, oh my goodness, it would be just crazy. People would just be so shocked and angry. So this is why things happen in this sort of dribbling effect. Like, we get a little bit here, and then we'll get a little bit there, and then we'll get a little bit here. And I feel like that's how 2022 and probably 2023, we're going to still be getting fed like this information, and things are going to open up sort of more gradually. The truths will come out. So don't expect absolute miracles. I think we know they're that good at putting lie over lie over lie over lie when it comes to the media and their censoring of all the platforms and Facebook and YouTube and you name it. We all get misinformation warnings on everything. So this is what's going to happen. This will still continue to open up, but it's going to be at a gradual pace, because it's got to be, and they're saying to me, it's got to be at the pace that people can handle it. Because if you bombard people and just throw them all the truths, they can't figure it out. So it's like a process. This has to be figured out in a logical way so that it makes sense to people at the end. So we just have to have that real patience inside, even though, like a lot of us out there, I know you guys watching me, I've got some great subscribers. Hi to everybody out there in Canada, Netherlands, Germany, America, here in Western Australia. Hi guys out there. We've got, you know, we can't expect people to get their head around it the way that we can, because they've also had to go through their soul breakdown and their soul journey. So they're in the process of building themselves back up. And this is what the Great Awakening is. It's about rebuilding your soul. It's that rebirth, regrowth, and developing your higher senses. And this is what's kind of going to go on in the next, I would say this year to the next, well into 2023. There's still going to be a lot of this waking up process. I'll just see what else comes up today. Right, there's no more living in the past. I think we've all come to that conclusion, and look, I think we all know it. Life as we knew it is in the past. I think we've got to face that now. I mean, here in Australia, it feels like we're living that sort of normality, but we know it's false, because we've got an election here coming up in May. Maybe you guys out there as well do. So you get this little lull where they give you that false normal, where everything feels like, oh, great, we're getting on with it. But you can just feel it's that, I don't think so. And that's the message, is that it's not going to be normal again. We're never going to go back to the way that we were before, where we were all kind of really integrated and everything was great. We're still going to have a lot of divisions moving forward. But like I said, it's going to break down into subdivisions now, and we're going to have more and more subgroups. So this is why I think you'll find a lot of people who are in these freedom movements, or who are trying to get on with their life, are going to sort of pull away from society. I do feel like that's the safest bet, especially at the moment when people are rising up. You have to kind of pull yourself away and find your little, that safe place. So, for example, here, I don't even know, I was talking to my sister yesterday, she lives in a different state in Queensland, and she said to go everywhere in Queensland you have to have a green pass, which I don't have. And I've got the feeling they're going to keep them for good now. This is a pretty permanent thing in some countries, not all. But I don't even know what coffee shops I can go to. And if I go to visit my family up there, like where can I go? We're still very restricted if we don't have that digital pass. So this is something that we really still have to be aware of, that pretty much they've really implemented this pass and digital system that's allowing us to all move around. And again, it gets back to the currency system. So I think you've got to get your head around that now. And I think I spoke about that yesterday, about getting on your train and staying on that train that you've chosen, just as an analogy, because what it is your life's not going to be the same. Your life has changed. If you have chosen not to get the jab and not to get your passports, then you're pretty much going to have to stay restricted to a degree, because you're going to have to navigate now and navigate your life to what you can and can't do. And that's going to become harder for the jabbed as well. They sort of think, a lot of them now, it's like this false normal. Like I said, they think they've got their freedoms and they can just travel here, there and everywhere, but it's going to get harder and harder to move around. And with this credit scoring that's coming, that's going to make it really hard, because unless you've earned that, or you've done the things that allow you to go and buy that, there's going to be this sort of control. And that's what the credit scoring system is. It's all going to be like digital. Gosh, I've even got a prescription that's on a digital code. It's crazy. Everything is digital. So that's what we're kind of looking at moving forward now. Life isn't going to be the same. And if we choose that simpler life, we have to kind of create that now. And you have to go about the steps of creating that now, because it's pretty much guaranteed that we won't be able to do very much at all. So we're going to have to be forced really to live a much simpler life. I'm sure there's some things we can do, but you've got to really kind of do your homework when you're going on holidays or planning these things now to what you can and can't do. But it's not just going to be us going forward. The double jab, the boosted, all of them are going to start to experience this credit scoring where, oh, but you're not this weight, or you used too many emissions with your car, you did too much traveling this week. These are the kind of things they're going to start to implement very soon. And like I said, here we've got this mosquito virus running rampant apparently, and now there's a jab for that. So probably you won't be able to go to Queensland because they've had floods. So unless you've had that jab, I'm sure that's the direction that it's going to go. You won't be able to go up to another state where they were flooded. Like, this is how it goes. They slowly work other things into their agenda, and that's the message that I'm definitely getting today. If you're wanting to simplify your life, look at those avenues now and look at the ways that you can simplify your life, get control of your money, get control of your finances, and try to sort of detach from the things that are coming, because there is a lot coming into 2023. I really believe this is going to sort of drag on for quite a while. And like I said, the awakening process is going to be slow, and we're only going to get snippets. That's when people start to question, and that's when people start to wake up. So I guess what the message really today is that you've got to have a lot of patience moving forward now. And that's why it's so important that you look after your own health, your well-being, and these kind of things. Gosh, I even had, I talked to my mum yesterday, and this is just an example, because my mum, you know, she's from that generation where they really believe in the virus, and she actually said to me, we're talking about Shane Warne, the cricketer that recently had a heart attack, and she was saying how it's terrible, like some of these juice diets and like fasting for like 10 days, that could really affect your heart. And I'm like, oh my goodness me, she actually really believed that. And to me, that's total madness. Like, he's been on so many juice diets. How many people around the world fast and go on juice diet? I've never heard of anyone having a heart attack. But it was too hard to kind of argue with her. I was just like, I don't think so, Mum. I said, he was probably the healthiest he's ever been in his life. And this is what's been fed on the media, though. They fed them that maybe that juice diet and the fasting had given him a heart attack. And now in Australia, it's got even worse, because they're actually now focusing, and another senator here in Parliament, she was 52, also had a heart attack. Nothing, of course, to do with myocarditis, is it? And they actually started now on the news talking about how heart disease is the biggest killer in Australia and it needs to be talked about more. And again, another lie on top of a lie. And this is what they're putting out there now. They're actually saying like, this is the sort of stuff, you know, we need to talk about heart disease because it's Australia's biggest killer. And I just can't believe my ears when they just keep lying. And it's just, this is why I'm saying this process is going to be slow. I mean, I have never heard of anyone dying of being super healthy with juices. And he was in Thailand, so we know he's been flying around. So he's likely to have had the actual real jab juice. So look, it's just something to really have a lot of patience with today. I think that's definitely the message. Just look, these things are going to take time. We can't expect an absolute miracle. Look, we've got to really look at the positives. That look at all the things that have come out so far this year. It's absolutely brilliant. I didn't even think this much would come out. Even when I was talking in January and February in some of my videos, like, I was just shocked how much has come out. So I guess we've got to take that as good confirmation that we've chosen that right path and we're on our way now. And yes, it confirms, and I think pretty much all of you guys out there, like the guides are saying, it confirms every day that you've made the right choice and that you do see things from a very different level. Because you've got to remember, a lot of people can't see it. They just don't see it. And it's hard to comprehend that, I know. But if you're watching this video, there's a high probability that you see things outside the square. You see things very differently. And that allows you to get that information to you, because that's what guides you, is information coming to you is what guides you on your journey of life. So look, I'm going to leave you with that today. Just think about that. Get your patience. Protect yourself. I always say that. Start thinking about how you're going to head forward, because I think we pretty much know the digital platforms and currencies and all that are coming. We can't really avoid that. And harbouring all that anger and injustice and different things like that doesn't help us. So now it's time to shift ourselves and get that clear path forward in our own minds. Thanks for watching today. Hi to all my subscribers out there. I will do a few more readings this week on Western Australia, obviously Canada, that comes up all the time, America. I'll start to touch on a few more countries this week, and we'll just see where we're at in the collective energies for those sort of countries. And hit the like buttons, comment down below. I love hearing from you guys. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.